Your motorcycle isn't wearing out because it's getting old. It's wearing out because of habits you probably repeat on every ride. Some of them feel completely normal, yet they're quietly shortening the life of your engine, clutch, brakes, and drivetrain every single mile. Today, we're exposing the 15 riding habits that silently destroy motorcycles, and by the time we reach number 1, you'll discover the mistake that causes more long-term mechanical damage than most riders ever realize. Let's get started. Number 15. Revving a cold engine immediately after starting. Nothing sounds better than a motorcycle firing to life on a cool morning. For many riders, the temptation is immediate. Twist the throttle a couple of times, enjoy that deep exhaust note, then head down the road. It feels harmless, but your engine tells a very different story. Those first moments after startup are when your engine is working with the least protection. Oil is still circulating through critical components, like the crankshaft bearings, camshafts, pistons, and cylinder walls, while the metal parts are still cold and haven't expanded to their proper operating clearances. Revving the engine hard during this brief window increases friction and forces those components to work before they're fully protected. You won't ruin an engine with one cold start. The problem is repetition. Do it often enough, and that extra wear gradually steals compression, increases oil consumption, and shortens engine life, eventually leading to repairs that can cost thousands of dollars. The smarter habit is simple. Let the idle settle, then ride away gently until the engine reaches normal operating temperature. If this is already changing the way you think about your motorcycle, hit that like button and subscribe. It tells us these deep mechanical breakdowns are worth making, and it helps us keep bringing you the kind of motorcycle knowledge that can save you thousands, not just hundreds. And the next habit quietly destroys another component. Almost every motorcycle depends on every single mile. Number 14, riding the clutch instead of fully engaging it. Here's a habit that feels smooth but quietly destroys one of the hardest working parts of your motorcycle. Many riders keep the clutch hovering in the friction zone through traffic, parking lots, or slow corners because it feels more controlled. The problem is they keep doing it long after the bike is moving. Your clutch is only meant to slip for a moment. Once you've pulled away or completed a shift, the clutch plates should lock together and transfer power without friction. But when you ride with the clutch partially engaged, those plates continue rubbing together, creating heat, wearing away the friction material, and contaminating the engine oil. Eventually, the clutch begins to slip under acceleration. The engine revs climb without matching speed, and performance starts fading. The fix is incredibly simple. Use the clutch only for starting, shifting, and slow speed maneuvers. Then release the lever completely. Your clutch was engineered to engage, not spend its entire life slipping. A worn clutch can empty your wallet faster than you expect, yet many riders unknowingly put even more stress on the gearbox itself. The surprising part is that the damage doesn't come from shifting too often. It comes from something your foot may be doing for miles without you even noticing. Number 13, resting your foot on the gear shifter. This is one of those habits that feels completely innocent. You finish a shift, your boot stays tucked under the lever, and you keep riding. No noise, no warning light, no immediate problem. But deep inside your motorcycle, that tiny bit of pressure can slowly punish one of the most expensive systems to repair: the transmission. Your gearbox is built to relax after every gear change. The shift forks, shift drum, and engagement parts need to settle into place. When your foot constantly pushes against the lever, you keep sending unnecessary pressure into that mechanism. Over time, thousands of miles of this repeated stress can contribute to worn shifting components, missed gears, and a transmission that no longer feels smooth. The worst part, the damage happens quietly. By the time you notice false neutrals or rough shifting, the wear may already be expensive to fix. The solution is simple. Make the shift, then move your foot back to the peg. That small habit protects your gearbox and keeps every ride smoother. Now I'm curious, has a mechanic ever shown you a bad riding habit you didn't even know you had? Or maybe you've learned one the hard way after paying for a repair. Leave your story in the comments. Riders learn just as much from each other's experiences as they do from any owner's manual. And if you think your transmission is vulnerable, wait until you hear about the habit that creates invisible damage every time you touch the brakes. Number 12, dragging the rear brake without realizing it. Here's a habit that's quietly draining your wallet every time you ride, and many riders never realize they're doing it. Your boot rests lightly on the rear brake pedal, The motorcycle keeps rolling normally, so you assume nothing is wrong. In reality, that tiny amount of pressure can keep the brake pads lightly rubbing against the rotor mile after mile. That constant contact creates friction, and friction creates heat. At first, you'll simply wear through brake pads faster than expected. But as the heat keeps building, it begins attacking the rotor, brake fluid, caliper seals, and even nearby wheel bearings. Eventually, what started as an unnoticed habit can lead to warped rotors, reduced braking performance, and repair bills costing hundreds of dollars. The fix is surprisingly simple. Once you've finished braking, place your foot completely back on the foot peg and leave the pedal alone until you actually need it again. Constant brake drag slowly eats away at parts designed to stop your motorcycle, not fight against it every mile. But even perfectly healthy brakes can't protect components that were never designed to carry more weight than they're built for. Imagine walking into a viewing holding all the cards. You know the fair price, you know your opening offer, and you know the exact number where you walk away. That's how you knock hundreds, even thousands off the asking price. Our buyer's kit hands you those numbers for just $49. Negotiate from facts and never overpay again. Scan the QR on the right or tap the link in the description. Ride away knowing you got the best deal. The next habit quietly overloads the motorcycle long before anything actually breaks. Number 11, constantly riding with an overloaded motorcycle. Packing for a weekend ride can get out of hand fast. A passenger, stuffed saddlebags, camping gear, extra tools, and before you know it, your motorcycle is carrying far more than it was built to handle. It may not complain right away, but every mile under too much weight quietly takes its toll. Overloading puts nearly every major component under extra stress. The rear suspension sags, the tires flex more than they should, the brakes work harder to slow everything down, and the chains, sprockets, and wheel bearings all wear faster. None of it feels dramatic, which is exactly why so many riders overlook it. Months later, you're replacing worn tires, tired suspension, noisy bearings, and stretched chains without realizing they all share the same cause. The fix is surprisingly simple. Stay within your motorcycle's recommended load limit, adjust the suspension for extra weight, and pack only what you truly need. Carrying too much weight gradually wears out suspension, bearings, and tires, but some of the most expensive damage happens even when your motorcycle feels perfectly normal. In fact, one habit many riders treat as completely harmless slowly shortens the life of a part that's hidden inside the fuel tank. Number 10, frequently running the fuel tank nearly empty. Welcome to the top 10, where the habits stop being annoying and start getting expensive. This next one catches out far more riders than you'd think. If you're the kind of person who treats the low fuel warning light like a personal challenge, you could be slowly wearing out your fuel system every single ride. Here's why. On most modern motorcycles, the fuel pump lives inside the gas tank, where the fuel helps keep it cool while it's working. But when you constantly ride with the tank nearly empty, that pump loses much of its cooling protection and has to work harder than it should. At the same time, you're more likely to stir up sediment and debris that naturally settle at the bottom of the tank, forcing the fuel filter to work overtime. The damage builds quietly. Hard starts, sluggish acceleration, or a whining fuel pump often appear long before complete failure, and replacing an in-tank fuel pump can cost several $100s. The solution is simple. Don't wait until you're running on fumes. Filling up a little earlier keeps the pump cooler, reduces unnecessary strain, and helps your fuel system last far longer. So far, we've covered problems affecting the engine, clutch, transmission, brakes, and suspension, and we're only getting started. Which one surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments. We read every one, and your feedback often inspires the topics we cover in future videos. A struggling fuel pump can leave you stranded without much warning, yet it's only one piece of a much bigger story. The next habit attacks the very components responsible for getting power from the engine to the rear wheel, and the damage gets more expensive every mile you ignore it. Number 9, ignoring chain lubrication and correct chain slack. Your engine can make all the power in the world, but your motorcycle is useless if that power never reaches the rear wheel. And the component responsible for making that happen is often one of the most neglected parts on the entire bike, the drive chain. Many riders only pay attention when they hear rattling noises, feel rough acceleration, or notice the chain hanging loose. But by then, the damage may already be spreading. A dry or poorly adjusted chain creates unnecessary friction, accelerates wear on the sprockets, and puts extra stress on expensive drivetrain components. Too much slack causes harsh power delivery and uneven wear. Too little slack can overload the gearbox output shaft and bearings. The fix is simple but often ignored. Clean it, lubricate it, and check the tension regularly. A few minutes of chain care can prevent hundreds of dollars in repairs and keep your motorcycle transferring power smoothly. A neglected chain wastes power and wears out an entire drivetrain, but not every repair begins with poor maintenance. Some happen in a split second every time the road turns rough. The next habit sends massive impacts through parts riders rarely think about until the repair bill reminds them. Number 8. Smashing through potholes and speed bumps at speed. Every rider has been caught off guard by a pothole, but turning rough roads into a personal obstacle course is a habit your motorcycle never forgets. Hit a deep pothole or fly over a speed bump too fast, and the suspension can bottom out, sending a brutal shock through the forks, wheels, steering head, bearings, and frame in a split second. The scary part is that the damage usually hides. You ride away thinking everything survived, only to discover leaking fork seals, bent rims, loose steering, or annoying vibrations weeks or months later. Those repeated impacts slowly wear out suspension components, weaken wheel bearings, and can leave you facing repair bills worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The smart approach is simple. Look well ahead, slow down before the obstacle, and let the suspension do the job it was engineered to do. Slamming into potholes can punish your suspension and wheels in an instant, but not every expensive repair comes from rough roads. Some of the worst damage happens inside the motorcycle itself, hidden from view, every time a rider forces a gear that simply isn't ready to engage. The next habit doesn't leave dents on the outside. It slowly grinds away at one of the most complex systems inside your bike. Number 7. Forcing gear changes without proper clutch operation. We've reached the point where bad habits stop being cheap. This one can quietly turn one of the toughest parts of your motorcycle into one of the most expensive repairs you'll ever face. Some riders slam the shifter into gear before the transmission is ready, convinced it makes them look smoother or more experienced. In reality, every rough shift sends unnecessary shock through the gearbox. The engagement dogs, shift forks, and shift drum are designed to mesh cleanly, not be forced together under load. Do it often enough, and those precision parts begin to wear, leading to missed shifts, false neutrals, or a transmission that suddenly jumps out of gear under acceleration. Unlike replacing brake pads or a chain, fixing a worn gearbox usually means tearing the engine apart, turning a bad habit into a repair bill worth thousands of dollars. Use smooth clutch control, don't rush your shifts, and let the transmission do its job. Gearbox repairs can drain your savings before you even realize something is wrong, but even a healthy transmission can't survive if the engine itself is pushed beyond its limits. Heat is one of the few enemies that attacks nearly every internal component at once, and the next habit allows that silent damage to keep building long after the warning signs appear. Number 6. Ignoring engine overheating and continuing to ride. From here on, every habit can end with a repair bill that hurts. This one is especially brutal because once your engine starts overheating, every extra mile you keep riding gives that damage more time to spread. Picture yourself stuck in traffic on a scorching afternoon. You notice the temperature climbing, maybe even an overheating warning, but you tell yourself, "I'll make it home." That's the mistake. Your engine depends on staying within a safe temperature range. Once it gets too hot, the oil begins losing its protective strength. Metal parts expand beyond their normal clearances, and critical components like the head gasket, bearings, and pistons start taking a beating. Keep riding, and what could have been a simple cooling system repair can quickly become a complete engine rebuild. The moment your motorcycle tells you it's overheating, listen. Pull over safely, shut it down, and let it cool before finding the cause. Ignoring that warning is one of the fastest ways to turn a reliable engine into the most expensive repair on your motorcycle. Excessive heat can shorten an engine's life surprisingly quickly, but temperature isn't the only thing protecting those moving parts. Every kilometer your engine travels depends on one invisible layer standing between metal and metal. Choose it carelessly, and the damage begins long before you hear or feel anything is wrong. Number 5, using the wrong engine oil. Now we are talking about mistakes that can attack the heart of your motorcycle. This habit is dangerous because everything seems normal at first. The engine starts, the bike moves, and nothing feels wrong. But inside that engine, thousands of moving parts are depending on one thing: the right oil doing its job. Engine oil is not just a liquid that reduces friction. It controls heat, protects internal surfaces, keeps contaminants moving away, and on many motorcycles, it also works with the clutch and transmission. Using the wrong oil specification can slowly damage bearings, camshafts, clutch plates, and gears. Some car oils contain additives that can make motorcycle clutches slip, while the wrong thickness can reduce protection during cold starts or high temperatures. The scary part is that oil damage hides for a long time. Picture it. You buy the bike. It looked clean. It sounded great. 3 weeks later, the bills start. A worn chain, tired forks, a service the seller never mentioned. That's thousands gone on a bike you already paid full price for. Our inspection checklist catches every one of those before you pay, walking the bike like a mechanic. Spend $49 now or lose thousands later. Scan the QR on the right or tap the link in the description. Don't let a hidden problem drain your wallet. The engine may sound fine until wear has already begun. The fix is simple. Follow your motorcycle manufacturer's oil requirements, not guesses or shortcuts. A few extra dollars on the correct oil can save thousands in engine repairs. Using the wrong oil quietly increases wear deep inside the engine, but not every costly habit hides beneath the fuel tank. Some of the damage starts where your motorcycle meets the road, and it's something riders can overlook for weeks at a time. A few missing pounds of pressure may not seem important until the repair bills begin to add up. Number 4, riding for long periods with incorrect tire pressure. This habit is unbelievably common because it doesn't look like a problem. You glance at your tires, they seem fine, and you ride away. But a tire can be dangerously overinflated or underinflated without showing any obvious signs. When pressure is too low, the sidewalls flex more than they should, generating excess heat and wearing the tread at a much faster rate. Too much pressure creates the opposite problem, shrinking the contact patch, reducing grip, and causing uneven wear down the center. Either way, your suspension, wheel bearings, and steering components end up absorbing forces they were never meant to handle. Before long, the motorcycle feels less stable. The tires wear out early, and you're spending hundreds of dollars replacing parts that could have lasted much longer. Underinflated tires slowly wear themselves out while placing extra strain on other components. But the next habit attacks the motorcycle from the opposite direction. Instead of neglecting something, it's about pushing a machine far beyond what it needs to endure. Many riders mistake this for performance, when in reality, they're accelerating wear with every ride. Number 3, constantly bouncing off the rev limiter. We've reached the top 3, and from this point on, every habit can take years off your motorcycle's life. This one is especially tempting because it feels exciting. The engine is screaming, the exhaust is roaring, and just as the tachometer reaches the red, the rev limiter cuts in. It feels dramatic. It even feels fast. But your engine isn't celebrating, it's enduring unnecessary punishment. Here's the truth. The rev limiter wasn't designed to tell you when to shift. It exists as a last line of defense to stop the engine from spinning beyond its mechanical limits. Think of it as the emergency fence at the edge of a cliff, not the place you're supposed to stand every time you ride. Every trip into the limiter places tremendous stress on the pistons, connecting rods, crankshaft, valve train, bearings, and timing components. Those parts are engineered to survive high engine speeds, but repeatedly smashing into the limiter creates shock loads that add up over thousands of miles. You probably won't notice anything tomorrow. That's exactly why this habit is so dangerous. The wear builds quietly until the engine starts using more oil, losing power, making unusual noises, or developing problems that cost thousands of dollars to repair. The solution isn't to baby your motorcycle. Most bikes are perfectly happy revving into the upper part of the power band. Just don't treat the rev limiter like another gear. Shift smoothly before it intervenes and let the engine deliver its performance without constantly forcing it against its own safety net. Constantly living at maximum RPM asks more from an engine than it was ever meant to give. But even a perfectly ridden motorcycle can't protect itself if it's slowly losing the very fluid that keeps it alive. The next habit looks so harmless that many riders postpone fixing it for months until a small leak turns into a very expensive lesson. Number 2, ignoring small oil leaks and continuing to ride. This habit is far more dangerous than most riders realize because your motorcycle actually warns you before the real damage begins. The problem is, too many people see that warning and ride away anyway. It starts with something that seems insignificant. A few drops of oil on the garage floor, a damp spot around the engine case, maybe a little grime collecting near a gasket. You wipe it off, tell yourself you'll deal with it next weekend, and forget about it. But that tiny leak isn't just making a mess, it's your engine asking for help. Engine oil does far more than keep parts slippery. It cools, lubricates, and protects nearly every critical moving component inside the engine. Every crankshaft bearing, camshaft, piston, and cylinder wall depends on a constant supply of clean oil. When that oil starts escaping, your engine slowly loses its protective lifeline. The frightening part is how quietly it happens. Day after day, ride after ride, the oil level drops a little lower. As it does, temperatures climb, lubrication becomes less effective, and metal components begin wearing against each other faster than they were ever designed to. A leaking seal today can become a failed gasket tomorrow. Oil can even spread onto the clutch, rear tire, or braking components, creating problems that extend far beyond the engine itself. Most catastrophic engine failures don't happen without warning. They happen because the warning was ignored. By the time the engine starts making unusual noises or performance begins falling off, the expensive damage has often already been done. What could have been a quick gasket replacement can suddenly become a repair worth thousands of dollars, or worse, a complete engine replacement. That's why experienced riders never shrug off an oil leak, no matter how small it looks. Check your oil level regularly, inspect the engine after rides, and investigate fresh leaks before they have the chance to grow. A repair that takes an afternoon today could save your motorcycle from weeks in the repair shop later. Small oil leaks rarely cause immediate failure, which is exactly why they're so easy to ignore. But if there's one habit that combines excessive heat, relentless stress, and long-term mechanical fatigue into the perfect recipe for expensive repairs, it's our #1 pick. Unlike the others, this habit doesn't damage just one component. It slowly shortens the life of almost everything inside the engine. #1, holding high RPM under heavy load for too long. We have finally reached the #1 habit, and this one earns the top spot because it combines almost every type of mechanical stress a motorcycle can experience. Now, there is nothing wrong with using your engine's power. Motorcycles are designed to rev, accelerate, and deliver excitement. The problem begins when a rider keeps demanding maximum performance for long periods without giving the machine a chance to recover. Inside your engine, high RPM means every critical component is working at incredible speed. Pistons are moving faster, valves are opening and closing more aggressively, bearings are handling greater forces, and the oil is fighting harder to protect every moving surface. Add heavy loads, steep climbs, constant full throttle, or long stretches near the red line, and the engine is forced into a battle against extreme heat and pressure. This type of abuse rarely destroys an engine instantly. Instead, it slowly steals its lifespan. Piston rings begin wearing faster, oil consumption increases, valve components lose their precision, and internal temperatures climb higher than the motorcycle was designed to handle. The frightening part is that the bike may still feel fast. It may still start every morning and pull hard when you twist the throttle. But behind that performance, thousands of repeated moments of stress are quietly adding up. Eventually, the bill arrives. Worn internal components can turn into a major engine rebuild, costing thousands of dollars depending on the damage and motorcycle model. The smarter approach is not avoiding high RPM completely. Your motorcycle was built to perform. The key is mechanical sympathy. Let the engine warm properly, use the right gear, avoid holding extreme revs under heavy load for unnecessary periods, and allow the cooling system and oil to do their jobs. A great rider does not treat a motorcycle like a machine that can never break. They understand that every engine has limits, and respecting those limits is what keeps it alive. Because motorcycles rarely fail from one dramatic moment. They are usually worn down by small choices repeated again and again until the damage finally becomes impossible to ignore. And that completes the countdown of the riding habits that slowly destroy motorcycles. The biggest lesson is simple. The machine beneath you is always responding to how you treat it. Ride with mechanical sympathy, and your motorcycle can reward you with years of reliable performance. And if this video changed the way you think about riding, the next one uncovers another side of motorcycle ownership that every rider should know. There's a good chance you'll never look at your bike quite the same way afterward. Click the next video to continue the road trip. Join our tribe by subscribing. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and let us know in the comments which habits surprised you the most.